in the few minutes I have left with you, let's hit the AFC. So you said the Lions have improved their lot to potentially get past the Niners and swap out the NFC combatant for this year's Super Bowl. What about the AFC? Has anybody done anything significant to make sure the Chiefs don't three-peat or have an opportunity to do so?
Yeah, it's tough because I don't think there have been enough changes, like let's say in the AFC North. All of those teams are really good, but I don't think any of them made monumental moves. I'm worried about some of the depth pieces for the Baltimore Ravens, for example. I don't think the Steelers did enough. They obviously made the biggest change in that division. They got rid of their quarterback and brought in a couple of quarterbacks, but I still don't think they are set up well. I think we're going to be talking about them a lot down the stretches there in all these primetime games with Mike Tomlin. Can he go over 500? Will this be his first losing season? That's going to be a massive storyline to the end of this year because the NFL gave them one of the most difficult schedules I've ever seen from like week 11 onward. It's absolutely crazy what the Pittsburgh Steelers have to deal with there. But I talked about the Houston Texans and the improvements that they made this past offseason. Like you said, how are we going to get past the Kansas City Chiefs? It's going to be a big challenge for any of these teams because I think the Chiefs are obviously set up so well. And as long as they have Mahomes and Reed and they added weapons at the receiving room, they're still solid up front, in my opinion. It's going to come down to protection, but that's where I think some people are viewing protection around the league, Rich, a little bit incorrectly. Years ago, we used to think that if a quarterback's got a great offensive line, he's going to be fine. If a quarterback's offensive line is bad, he's going to be terrible. And we know offensive line play is pretty under discussed and is important, but quarterbacks themselves control a lot of that pressure. And I could talk to you for 10 minutes about the quote that I heard from the New York Giants Hard Knocks episode. So we won't get into that, but suffice it to say, Patrick Mahomes would fare a lot better than Daniel Jones does under pressure behind that offensive line because it is a quarterback skill to be pressured but not take a sack. Sacks are drive killers. They massively up the punt rate. And if you have a quarterback who is smart pre-snap to diagnose where the pressure might be coming from, make those adjustments, get into a new play, get into a new protection, as well as post-snap, you are at a distinct advantage. And Daniel Jones, he really struggles with this his entire career. It's not just that the Giants have a bad offensive line or were injured last year. This is something he struggled with. He's got to improve. But I just think it is going to be tough to get past the Kansas City Chiefs. I love the moves that the LA Chargers have made this past offseason, primarily at the head coach there. So I think that's going to be a benefit. And I think if Aaron Rodgers is back and playing at his 100%, the Jets are scary. I mean, I don't know how Robert Saleh has gotten the Jets to be so focused and to have decent enough records, despite the ridiculously poor quarterback play that they've had to deal with for years. It's going to be such a breath of fresh air if they do get good quarterback play in there as to how much easier life is for that defense of his.
So you think Chiefs-Lions, when it all comes down to it? That's what you're thinking as we're sitting here second Tuesday in July?
I'm thinking Chiefs, Lions, Eagles, like those three. If so I had to eat,
what's your analysis
I get the Eagles moving
Eagles?
ahead of the I think the coordinators are going to make a massive difference. Last season, think about what they did last year. They lost their coordinators and then they promoted from within. And I think they thought the guys that they were promoting were a little bit further along than what they were. Now they went outside mercenary style, brought in two new coordinators, a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore. I think those guys are going to add some creativity to the play calling. I just worry about Jason Kelce at center there. I tweeted out the other day about just how impactful he was and that quarterback tush push has been for the Philadelphia Eagles. They have gotten more EPA, expected points added, out of just the tush push in like 97 plays over the last 3 years than every single other team's rushing attack combined in every single play that they've had. That's how effective the Eagles tush push is on just less than 100 plays over the last 3 years. So if Jason Kelce is not quite, he's not there. And if that absence isn't replaceable, one for one, then that could really impact the Philadelphia Eagles more than I think some people are thinking, which is why I think the Detroit Lions take that place. But I think the Eagles are going to be the class of the NFC East, taking over from the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that I'm excited about Jordan Love. I'm excited about the Green Bay Packers, but I still got the Lions there. And yeah, I think both those two teams can definitely vie for contention with the San Francisco 49ers. And I think it's going to be a great season. I think this season is going to be outstanding. I can't wait. I'm so happy this book is done because that means the season is near, and I'm looking forward to it.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.